everyone, welcome to Queer Life. My name is Demila Precious, and today we have an amazing guest in our midst. Queer Lifers, are you ready? Are you ready? This is a woman of God. She is a barrister in the making. She is a fashionista. She's a music minister. She is a Bible scholar by the good. She's being taught by the Holy Spirit himself. I'm telling you. See, she is everything that you need in a woman. This is what they call power pack. See, the reason why I'm wearing free dress is because so that anything stop like this, there's freedom of movement for the Spirit of God.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But anyways, today we have Minister of God in our midst, in person of Miss Bolaji model.
Hello, hi everyone.
Oh, it's so nice to have you here, Bolaji.
Yes, thank you for inviting me.
So, background story, as you guys know, normally we send a message out to people that I want to bring, and then we give them the topic that God has given us to talk about. But this time around, God gave us a person without a topic. And so, till now, we are both clueless of what God wants us to say. But I think we're just going to go down the storyline anyways. And so you guys should just keep watching, call in your friends to join you as you watch this video. You're not watching it. So,
is your right? We understand. It comes out.
It comes out sometimes.
You get. The Oduduwa has to show.
Yes, we're going to go, but I think we're going to go down the storyline, like I said, to know who she is. Story
time. This is super story. Life of treasure sorrow. Because
that's what life is.
No, it's a lot.
But yeah, so please, she has a podcast. If you want to go in your spiritual life, subscribe to Queer Life, but then subscribe to our podcast because she talks about life issues, and she's the perfect person for this channel. What Queer Life means is living the ordained life, and so if you want to really live the ordained life gradually, like she talks about that, and there's no cap here. She's so. I remember somebody sent me a message. I was like, I listened to our podcast and it was so real. Like you could literally see yourself in what she's saying. So it's not like I pray 55 hours a day and that's why I'm here. No, she takes you through. Everybody's talking about prayer before we start. But yeah, she takes you through the process, and so for your growth, I would recommend that you listen to our podcast. I listen to them sometimes, especially in my down moment. And yes, I rise up in victory.
Yes, because it is the Truth versus Feelings podcast.
Yup, that's it. Truth versus feelings. Don't worry.
We fight our feelings with the truth of God's word.
Yes, the sword of truth.
Yeah.
Alright, so don't worry. You can check the description below. The link will be right there for you guys to listen. Alright, so back to today. So Bolaji, how are you doing?
I'm good, I'm fine. I mean, no way you want me to see Shege, but I only see Jesus.
She sees Jesus.
I see Jesus.
She doesn't see Shege.
Rising hope on the throne.
Okay, so when we talk about story, like, what's your story like? Is your story those like fairy tale kind of story, like people that I was born with a silver spoon and I knew Jesus right from birth. I saw him in my mother's womb. He appeared to me and he says, "This one that you are going, we are going to journey in it together." And then he kept on journeying with Jesus, even to now.
No. Okay, so my story is a lot. In my own way, Sha. In my own way. Let me just start by saying that I'm a pastor's kid. So maybe you can already tell the direction that it will go, because they have this thing about pastor's
kids.
So,
yeah, the wayward ones.
Not really. The Lord caught me just in time.
She's anointed. Can you see the way?
Okay, so yes, like my dad is a pastor, a CSC pastor for context. So a CSC pastor. If you don't like CSC, like CSC is strong.
Doctrine.
Yes, exactly. Doctrine and all of that, prayer, all of that. Yeah. And then, I always grew up in church. Like I know no other life. Like I've always been in church. But then the thing is, I don't know why God would do this to me because I know that when you told me that God said you should call me to come on the show, call it that, and talk about my life, I was like, God, why? Because there are some things that I know that I'm going to have to say on here that a lot of people in my life don't know, like my siblings don't know, my closest friends do not know.
Oh wow.
So
privileged people, are you ready to hear this?
But yes, I'm just going to talk about my journey because I know that even when I was going to do the meeting, I know that I was actually supposed to talk about like my life as well, but I didn't know how to bring that in, and I was just like, you know what, but we'll do that next time. So really, yeah, I grew up in church and all of that, and I enjoyed church. It was a beautiful place for me to be. And I used to fight a lot. I was at Jesus, I used to fight a lot, but I enjoyed being in church. And then when I was 10, I was in 9, 10-ish, I was in GSS. I had to go to the boarding school. And so when I was in boarding school, I'm shy. When I was in boarding school, this is weird because I've never said this out loud and I'm saying this to the public. When I was in boarding school, right, I got into lesbianism. And for me, it was a lot because I was just, like I said, I was just 9, 10.
Yeah.
And it wasn't in the predatory way that people have it, that like, a senior prefect or whatever.
Yeah.
It was just, I was in GSS 1, and I think the other girl was in probably primary school.
Oh, wow.
And the other one was in GSS 2. So my first ever sexual experience was with 2 other girls at the same time. And so it's like, threesome. So it was a lot for me.
The Trinity was there.
Oh my God.
The 3 persons.
But you know, like the thing is that I knew it was wrong.
Yeah.
To be honest, I didn't know that there was such a thing as lesbianism at that time. I didn't know.
It was not name.
Yes, I didn't know that it existed. I never, even though I read about Sodom and Gomorrah, because I mean Bible stories, it did not occur to me that it was like a female and female relationship, because like from the Bible story it was talking about the men wanted to sleep. So I felt like it was only just men to men. I didn't think that it was a thing that was real for like female to female. And so it was a big struggle for me. I knew it was wrong, and I got up and I left. And I remember that because I've never been this person that doesn't believe that God exists. I've always just known that God existed. I was like, God, I'm sorry. I don't know what I did, but I know it is wrong. And and then I was just trying to right my ways by now making God other promises that, okay, I've done this. I'll never do this. I'll wear trousers. I'll wear earring. I'll wear necklace.
Oh my God, sorry, you broke
because like, do you get, like, I feel like I attended CSC growing up, and so my mindset was that, okay, like all these things are wrong. And then I'm already doing this. Do you get? And so it's like, so I have to correct myself on every other ground, like make sure that I'm right, I'm perfect on every other ground to make God accept me and all of that. And then, so I had a fight with the headmistress.
Headmistress.
So I told my dad, I'm leaving this school, I want to leave this school. I left the school. I did not know that I was entering deeper.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I left the school and I went to an only girls school. Ooh. So it's like
I
was going right into the lion's den. And so I'm the kind of person that if I have my mind made that I'm not going to do something, I can actually contain myself. I can contain myself not to do it. But it now got to a stage that it led to something else. Because honestly, like now as a believer, I know that if I'm struggling with anything, I'm to really surrender it to God. But like for me, it was like I was I was
disciplined.
I was sacrificing like my own blood.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like to me, like that's the
way.
And then I got into another girl. So because I already said I was never going to do this again and all of that, I started getting bullied. Like there was this group of girls. So I don't know, like till now I really don't know why they hated me, but from the very first day I got to school, they started picking on me from the very first day. I don't know if I had a very nice, pretty dress. Honestly, pretty pink dress. Flowing dress. I was like Cinderella that day. But I was like, why are these girls hating on me? It was too much. Like,
That's what happened to Cinderella now. Did you lose your shoe?
Actually, oh my god, I would say that honestly, it was really one of the worst periods of my life, because like I'm dealing with, and now I'm in an only girls' school, and so I'm dealing with constant attraction, and it was so crazy that, you know, like the devil was just really after me. That as small as a touch, if you touch my hand as a babe, I'm already thinking about, oh my god, like it was visual, it was just a lot for me then. And like it's like someone that is fasting and all that is around you is cake, chocolates. Do you get? And it was just constant. And I knew that because I'm in an only girls' school. Definitely there would definitely be other lesbians as well. And I knew that I could actually get that. We could do that. But I was just like, no, I'm not going to do this to God, because I was so scared of hellfire and all of that, being cut off from God and everything. And I'm going to share one of the experiences that I had being bullied. So, and then like it affected my grades. So like I went from being one of the top 3 in class, like in my JSS1, even though I was dealing with that. I came out as the best student for JSS1. I got to that school and my grades dropped.
Wow.
Like I went from like there was one time that my dad came to the school, and like my dad was coming boldly to come and get my result, because like my dad was expectant, like, yo, like this is my daughter, like right from like
I'm well pleased.
Primary school, like I've always been bright, and then he comes to school and then he's seeing red biro on my pen, like, and then my dad is looking at my attendance sheet and he's like, how are you missing school? Like they drop you from school, they come and pick you from school. But because I was getting bullied and my bullies were in my class, most times instead of attending classes, like if I'm supposed to go for biology class and go to the laboratory, or like final class and all of that, instead of me to go to the lab or whatever, I'll stay back in class. Like I remember that sometimes I would literally hide in, because my school had a school farm. I'll go to the school farm to hide. Wow. Like I'm in school from, like, imagine being out in the sun from like 8 till 4 almost every day.
Wow.
It was that bad. It was really bad. It was really bad.
It was bad.
And there was one experience that I don't think I can ever forget it. That so there was one time that I was in school. I was avoiding them and classes, and because I was already failing at school, I was also avoiding teachers as well. So I stayed back in class that day. I remember we had, these desks, and it's just two-seater. I remember squeezing myself there.
What? Inside the desk?
See, I've squeezed myself inside chairs like this, like stack of chairs like this, because I was hiding and running. I have stayed in a filthy toilet, locked myself in because I was hiding from my bullies. It was crazy. Like a toilet that they've not washed, that is smelling, and like my stool is almost posh, so to say. But I was there. I'll be there for hours looking at shit, just because like I know that if I go out, I'm going to be bullied.
Wow.
I know that if I go out, like it's going to be terrible. It's going to be hellish. And like what I want to say, so when somebody lost money, one of the boarding house, I think she lost her pocket money. I think it was about 8 to 10K or so. And this girl, the girl that was bullying me, said I was the one that stole it. Now stealing is not somewhere. I mind my business. Honestly, like I mind my. I'm not because like then I take food to school. Like there was nothing to steal for.
Yeah, going back home.
I'm going back home. Yeah, you are a border. And then this girl said I was the one that stole the money, and really just embarrassed me. She took me to because we used to have head of junior school, head of senior. So it's like the headmaster or the principal for so we have another one. Then she took me to report me to the head of school. Yes, the junior principal. And then I went, and the man was like, this, that, and the man was looking through my records, and then he found that I had not submitted my school records and everything. And then, but I don't know, but I'll just say God's providence. The man just said this girl didn't steal the money, that I should leave and I should go. This girl had a plan for me, so the man said you should go. And then I remember that after we finished school that day, I could not quickly escape them. And they followed me. There were a group of them. They followed me to a corner in school, because my school is like a square, so it's like a quadrangle. In the middle we have a quadrangle, and then they just took me to a corner and stripped me.
What?
They stripped me. Phone was ringing because they said that I was when I stole the money and I probably hid the money on my body. These girls stripped me down to my I think I was down to my undies, because I obviously, like, if it was there, you would know. They stripped me. Honestly, like, during the strike, just a few weeks before they called off the strike, I remembered. I know that, like, I've shut down a lot of the memories. I cannot even remember, because I've shut down a lot of the memories. But I just, for like 2 days, I couldn't do anything in prayer or worship. I was just crying. Like, I still want to cry right now. I was just crying. It was a terrible time for me. And because, like, going home, I am my mom, because I'm a different kind of person. You know, like mothers, like my mom is very hardworking, she's industrious and all of that. I'm not really like that. I want to, like, get me busy with books and all of that. Like, that's what I'm more inclined to. And so, and then, like, during that same period, my older sister, I and my older sister we had bad terms. Like, I remember seeing a note that my sister wrote, my older sister, that she wrote then that she wished that I would die. Now,
she definitely does wish that now.
No, like, no, now I and my sisters are G's. No, I love my sisters so much. But, like, then, like, it was just a bad time. It was just a bad time for me. And now I know some of my sister's story, and I know that even there she was actually going through a lot. So to her, she thought that I was living the perfect life. Like, because I never expressed any of these things to her.
Wow.
Like, honestly, some of the things that I've said now, she would be surprised to hear if she watch. I know she will watch it, and she'll be surprised to hear. And then I saw the note, and I even told my sister that, like, do you actually mean this? My sister was like, yes, that she means I should die. I took it to my mom. I was crying. My mom was like, what's this? Like, we've taught you, but my sister was telling my mom. So my sister is very bold. She was telling my mom that yes, I should die. That's what I should die. And I remember then that I was just crying, and I was telling my sister, but I love you.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I was crying. Oh God, I was crying.
Those people actually told me to bring tissue paper. I don't know if I obeyed. Maybe it's in my bag.
You know, I was crying, and you know, that day I knew that I loved my sister. Like, I know that I love her.
Yeah.
And in a way, it actually sort of taught me God's love. That even though we spit on him, and in the face of insults, and
still loves us,
and it's just like, but I love him, and I'm here. I remember that, and I know that, like, it's not because I'm perfect, but it was just really God working. I think that my God was even still trying to teach my sister even love through that. And you know, like, we used to fight before then. I'll not lie, we used to fight. I used to fight trouble. I was rude. I don't want to fight. I'll tear her clothes because I know she likes clothes. So we used to fight. So in a way, I sort of get why she would say that. And because to her, my son is the hardworking one. Like, she has cleaned everywhere. My own is, don't dirty it in the first place. Do you get why are you stressing me? I don't want to be stressed. And then, so it was really that same period that, okay, I'm dealing with this attraction, this sexual thing, and I'm being bullied in school, and then my sister doesn't like me when I get home, and you know, it was just a lot. That period, it was just a lot. I was just
a young girl. Even now, I feel if someone is going through that now, the person is really depressed.
But you know, it was like I was sort of living 2 lives. So my personality in school is different. But then when I get to church, because I was in the choir, when I get to church, I'm that person that is making everybody laugh. I don't know how I used to do it. Like, I just always had this sense of peace, and like nothing worries me when I'm in the church. Like I was doing a lot. I was in drama. I was this. At some point later, I was like 4 units at the same time. I was doing everything. I just enjoyed doing it. Like I just knew that, okay, like this is home. Like it was home for me. Like obviously, like it's CSA, so they were still looking my trouble, and I was still fight. I would fight, but it was just peace for me. So let me just. There's a lot to still say, but let me just fast forward to. Okay, then at some point I almost died. I've never said this out loud to people. So one of the days that they didn't pick me up for school, I was what? It's the days that they did not pick me up from school, I went well. There was one time that I was supposed to go to school, and I don't know, I dropped at a junction I wasn't supposed to, because I don't know the road. Did they carry me because I don't look road?
You go where you don't know.
And then like I dropped at the wrong junction, and I was just walking. I don't know where I was going. I was just walking. I was like, "Hey God, help me!" But you know what? Till today, that experience still marks me, because I just, as I was praying, God, please, because I was already walking. I was getting lost.
Oh my God.
And then you know I just stopped at some point. I was like, okay, let me pray that. And honestly, I wasn't even sure. I was like, okay, let me pray that maybe God will answer. Maybe God will send somebody, or maybe God will send an angel that will lead me and then take me to school or something. But I just felt like I should pray. I was like, okay, God. I did not like, you know, like I really know how to pray now. I was like, God, please don't sleep. Please let me not get lost. Hey, what will I do? I have money. But what to me is like 300. I cannot survive on this. I will die.
Who do I know?
Who do I know, Lord? Like it's Lagos. It's Lagos. And then I just and there were a lot of junctions. Like there was just a lot of like junctions. It's not even because it's 4. What? It's just so it's like, do I go here? Do I go here? Do I go here? Like by me. But till I got to school, I knew where to go, and I never made a wrong turn.
Wow.
Like
wow.
I wasn't even sure. Like I'll just feel like, go right, keep going straight, turn left, this that, and I was just sometimes like it wasn't even like it wasn't a voice. Then it wasn't even a voice. It was just impressions in my head, and I'll just follow. I was still okay. I was not sure until I saw my school.
Wow.
I left the house maybe like morning for like 1 hour. For you to know that I don't lost.
Wow.
But till now it just marks me, and then times when I'm like, you know what, like my life is not going the way I want it to go, I just always look back at that and just say that if you get like God led me.
Yeah.
God led me.
Yeah.
He led me.
Mm-hmm.
He led me. I honestly I cannot get to that. He led me.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if everybody God is leading you. Like I know that sometimes it might not seem like it, like you might not be sure in that moment. Yeah. But trust that God is leading you, because like that's what his word says, and that is what is true.
Yeah.
You get?
Yeah.
Like God leads. So let me just fast forward to my OAU story and then get to how I became born again. Finally, to the arms of my father. You know, I resumed in, obviously, like, oh, okay, let me just say that the lesbianism thing, it happened again. Of course it would, because like flesh cannot keep itself. And so when I got to OAU, I felt like I was in a space where I felt like I was angry at God. I just felt like I was downcast, you know, emotionally, everything. I was depressed, like, but there were times that, because I stayed in the story building, there were times that I would stay, lie down like the railing and be wishing to fall, because I can't bring myself to kill myself. Like, let me just force, I'll just die. Do you get? And then I got to do drugs. I enjoyed partying. I drink a lot. I'll drink. In my room, if I would buy goodie drink. I drink, and then, you know, like there's the boys part too. Yeah. And so for me, like then it was not that I wasn't looking to get enamored or like emotionally attached with you. I'm not interested, but I would just do what I wanted with you. And so it was really that they were play things, right? And I was really angry at God. There was one thing that I remember posting on my WhatsApp status then, and I said, God, are you really here? Are you really watching? are you really listening? And all I could say was, help me. Because I knew that, I knew like there was this emptiness that I knew that I needed more, I wanted more. And then Grace invited me to church.
Grace has found me. Grace has made me.
Grace invited me to church, and she even fought me on top church because I did not come. And then the first time I came, you gave me word for I was church, and I still remember.
I remember.
And you know the funny thing is, because I grew up in church, right? My father would call me and say, "Bolaji, I was church. I'll preach sermons to my father."
She know he's inbuilt.
Like he still does it till then though. But like then I'll tell him, yes, they preached on grace today. Scripture, I'll give him 1 or 2 scripture. What do you learn? I'll tell you what I learned. I was my room.
She was the pastor. She attended bedtime church, what church is.
And then I got to church, and like all through that week, leading up to that week, I know that I was really questioning God's love. I was like, God's love, I beg you, can't be real. Because I'd even forgot. Like to me, like my life from GSS1 leading up to then was just terrible. Because like even then, like it really affected me so bad. Like I hated reading, I didn't like reading. I was just really managed. I could put up a bold front. A lot of people would never know that I was going through anything like that. They would never know. Like I know that people from my church back then used to ask me that, how are you always like oh Nisho Roni, like honestly, like how are you always like this? How? And then I got to church, and he told me that day that God loves you. I didn't cry in church, but I went to my cried.
No, you didn't cry. When I felt, it was a test of my baby, because I'm like, did this girl believe me? Like, what's this?
I held them, I cried. Shrugged it off, I said, it's not true.
One proof.
I say hard girl. I have to guide. Borano say no.
Go Wale, Adeshi.
Get. And then I think on church again, Grace was fighting me. Pastor Joshua still tells me that Grace was like, what? And then, God's love, I just said, I will not be able to sleep. Sunday morning, it's my man's soul. I'll just be toasting and telling you, go to church. Leave me alone, I'm not going. And then I will not intentionally come. It's like, okay. They'll finish by 11, I can enter like 10:30. And then I just like coming like that, and then just hearing God's word, and God was just working on my inside. And everything. There were times that I remember that I'm coming from a guy's room and I'll come to church. Okay, let's just go say, can I have a rest? Get? Like, it's so funny. I'm just going to drive me go or drop me. I'm going to church. You'll be like, are you okay? Are you actually fine? I'm going to church, blah, blah, blah. But, like, here I am now. I'm just so grateful to God. I'm honestly so grateful to God that, because I know that nobody led me to anything that I've done. Like, the lesbianism, the smoking, the drinking, whatever. It was always my choice. I'm not gonna that peer pressure gets to, but if I choose that I'm going to do it, I'll do it. And I knew that I was already told in the line of, I beg whatever, let's be bisexual, and let's swing both ways and do whatever. But I'm just grateful that God really caught me when He did. That's my story.
Wow.
So we spent like 2 hours.
Wow. But seriously, if you have listened to us from the beginning and you're here and you're not crying, because I try to hold my tail a lot of times. Like I'm doing that guy, But like, I don't know. Your story alone is a message. Your story alone is the message. And I'm serious, your story alone is the message, because I know all of us have stories, and I think that's one thing that God wants to bring out from our story. It doesn't matter what our past have been like. And one thing that I learned from what you said, from your story, is that, all the things that you did, it was your intention. You chose to do them. Because there are always two categories of people's past, of I didn't know, ignorance, or I was led to do it. And so there's this something that you can put the blame on. And so maybe if someone is in that category, it's either you're like, oh, maybe I was stupid, and you're trying to blame yourself, and then you accept Jesus and all of that, or you're like, I blame this person, and then when you meet Jesus, you're like, I'm safe now. But when it comes to people that actually intentionally did what they did, they're like, it's my fault. I chose to do it, and so I have to pay for it. And so it's harder. I feel that it's harder because you're like, I did this. It's intent. Like I know, I knew it. I suppressed the truth. I know that I had to do this. I had the knowledge, but I'm like, you know what? This is like I intentionally said I want to go this route, and yeah, it led me. I know that it's bad, but I want to pay. You get? So I'm like, what would you say to people like that?
I would say that God still loves you. Honestly, God still loves you, and even in that, He still loves you. And I think that in a way, that's really what God can save us from. Like the flesh will always choose to do what is against God. Like definitely, the flesh is definitely anti-God. And so, one thing is I take accountability of what I've done. I don't blame anybody. I won't say, oh, I didn't know. My dad's a pastor. We do morning devotion, evening devotion. Some days we fast. Do you get? So like I can't deny that I didn't know. I knew, and I did it. But God's love and God's hand was still on me. God, so like even now that I'm a believer, like it gives me freedom. Actually, because I know that even if I end up doing something that God wouldn't like, I know that God still loves me, and He will still be faithful, and He will still teach me. Do you get? Like for me, it's the fact that all of this has happened, and God will still say, this is what I want you to do. Before I got into uni, I didn't know them to do ministry. And so it's like it was a deliberate decision that I don't want to do this, so I'm going to go for. And like I said, I was still angry at God. Do you get? I was angry at God, but even in my anger, like God was still chasing after me. Right? It's also beautiful.
Beautiful. From what she said, as I was listening to her, it just came to my mind that like one thing that Pastor Sean always says is that there's no middle ground, and so it's either the devil or it's God. And so even you that you said that you were influenced or it was ignorance, and you that you said you were doing it wasn't you. The both of you, it's the same thing. It's the devil. Do you get? And so that's what Christ came to bring us from the kingdom of darkness into His marvelous light. And so we all have to believe to come into that place, so we don't have to pay for anything really. You don't have to take the guilt upon yourself because you want to stand for yourself. This is not the time to fight.
He has borne all of the guilt, every single thing. You don't have to pay for anything. It is already paid for. Just flex upon His sacrifice.
Yes. I'm very sure that we're going to come back to talk with Minister Bolaji, because right now the question in my mind is, so how did you start ministry and how is ministry going so far? But no, not today. Let's not bombard you with a lot of things. And so guess what? We're going to bring Sister Bolaji. They call you sister, Miss.
I'm a sister.
Sister, Miss, Minister, Pastor. She has all the titles. She wears a lot of cap. But yes, definitely, I know that we're going to bring you back to talk again about ministry and how ministry is going, especially for young people, most importantly young women that are going into ministry. I know that first thing first, when you hear ministry, you want to run.
I mean, honestly, just do fashion, be a career woman, just be flexing, like walk into the office with my heels and my bag.
I know, I was in that shoe too. That was the ideal future. But look where you are. But yes, there's a lot about ministry, how to start and all of that, and most especially for women. In fact, women that grew up well, women that had past, everybody. And so we're going to really talk about that. But really, thank you so much, Bolaji, for coming. I am blessed. I'm serious. When I'm going to be editing this video, I'm going to be this. Because this is a lot. And really, thank you so much for being vulnerable. See, what you've done here, I hope I'll be able to do it one time. There are still a lot of things that I'm like, oh my I can't say it outside. But I mean, listen to you say this, like, actually it's for people, because no, I was blessed. So like all of this happened, it's shameful, it's something that you probably don't want to say, but really Christ has taken away the shame.
Exactly, honestly, like I can say it to anybody. I just don't choose because of course I private business. But I can say it to anybody because like Pastor always says, you didn't die.
Yeah. Like,
you did not, so you can't condemn me for what I've done.
Yeah.
Nobody you die.
Nobody you die. You
paid my sacrifice.
Crazy that I condemn. You get it makes a lot of sense that and we thank you because you probably don't know most of the people that are going to be watching this video and you're just vulnerable in front of everybody for us to be blessed. And this is a honor. Thank you so much, Bolaji, for coming. Thank you for sharing your story. I mean, oh wow, this is amazing. This is really salvation story. This is really salvation story, and God is saying, "Come as you are. Come as you are. Whatever it is that you have done, or whatever that life has brought to your face, you know, nothing can be told you from coming to God. All you just have to do today is to really say that yes, I believe in Jesus as my Lord. That He came to save me.
There's nothing that you have done that Christ has not borne the pain for. There's absolutely nothing. Like I used to say this, that I think the worst thing you can do is to betray the Lord of all. And to kill somebody. And even you see, like in the Bible, God was even good to people like that. Yesterday during service, you know, I was not really in a good place, sort of. But I was like, okay, I'll worship. And like I said last Wednesday, that we worship in the knowledge of God. And I was just thinking that, it was just a question in my heart that, look at the Bible. Who was God not good to? Who was He not faithful to? And I honestly, I wasn't praying yesterday. I just sat down and I was trying to remember as much stories as I could in the Bible. And I could not say there was one person that, okay, this person, God wasn't good to him. God is just so good. And so no matter what you've done, and that's why I always love David and the art of David. He killed someone, stole his wife, impregnated, blah blah blah. And he still
was betrayal.
Honestly, like you know you're going to kill someone and you sit him down and feed him. You get and send him, take and go and give your suicide letter. That's crazy. You look someone in the eye.
Like that's
right.
There's no, he didn't even give room for you to forgive. Like it's not like I betrayed you and then I'm waiting for you to forgive me. I'm like, you know what?
He wasn't even remorseful after. Let's be clear.
He didn't do anything. He kept on. He killed the husband and kept on living his life until somebody came to talk to him in parable. Like, he
brought the woman to the palace and said, this let's wait in the Oju Bangba.
It took God to bring to talk to him in parable before he figured out that, oh my God, this is actually me. And David really is the perfect example because he did not go back off on sacrifice.
True.
He didn't go back off in sacrifice, so you don't have to. He just went and see, David is just the perfect person because David actually was in the Old Testament and there were all of the sacrificial things going on. But he did not. He just went straight to the cross. He went straight to the cross, and that's where we should all go to. Straight to the cross. That everything should be on the cross. Everything. Don't take anything back. Don't hold anything back. Don't take any story back. Everything, the good, the bad, the ugly, on the cross. That's where we all meet. On the cross. On the cross. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for joining us. Please don't forget to share with your friends and family. Thank you so much. Check the description below for True Pastors Feelings podcast. I'm sure that you are hungry to go and listen to it already. But thank you so much. Have a nice day. Bye.